What's up everybody, it's Block here, just coming at you with a deck profile of my Red Dragon Archfiend. Obviously super iconic deck from the anime, and of course super fun deck to play as well. I just want to show you guys my build. Of course, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and let's get on with the deck profile. And to start off with the monsters, we start off with 3 of the Soul Resonator. Absolutely amazing one. Essentially is basically a rotor for a level 4 or lower Fiend monster on normal or special summon. And also, when it's in the graveyard and an effect would destroy a synchro monster that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend or Red Dragon Archfiend monster, you can banish it instead. So there's a bit of protection there as well. And then next, play 2 of the Vision Resonator. Again, absolutely amazing one here. If you control a level 5 or higher dark monster on the field, which pretty much all your synchros are, so you're pretty much constantly going to be, you can special summon it. And if it's sent to the graveyard, you can add a spell or trap card that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend from your deck to your hand, adding things like Crimson Gaia or your traps. Then next I do play 2 of the Crimson Resonator. If you control no monsters, you can special summon it. And if the only other monster you control is exactly a Dark Synchro monster, you can special summon 2 Resonator monsters from your hand or deck, being able to get more monsters on the field and things like that. Obviously, super really good one, being able to just special summon itself. Next on to I play 2 of the Red Resonator. I do play 2 in this build, sort of Umdanar with sort of Synchron Resonator. But I kind of feel like with these Crimson, the Red and the Synchron, you can kind of play at any variant you want. But this is kind of how I'm playing it. So when it's on normal summon, you can special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your hand, which is obviously super good. And when this card is special summon, you can target a face-up monster on the field, gain life points to its attack, so help you in time. And lastly, I do play 1 of the Synchron Resonator, which again is just another one that you can special summon. You can special summon from your hand, if you control a Synchro monster, And if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target a Resonator monster, accept itself and add it back to hand, so it helps us recycle things in our hands. And then I do also play 1 of the Obsessive Overloop. This is a really good one. If it's in your hand, you can target a synchro monster you control or that's in your graveyard, banish it and special summon it. So obviously we'll get, as we climb for our synchros, we'll have a load in the graveyard, so being a level 4, really good. And if it's in your graveyard, you can target a synchro monster you control or in your graveyard, banish it and add it back to your hand, being able to use it again for next turn. Then next, onto Fiend, onto our sort of our Fiends. We've got Bone Archfiend, which again is another amazing one in the structure deck. And if it's in your hand or graveyard, you can send 1 card from your hand or graveyard to the hand or field to the graveyard to special summon it. Absolutely great one. Obviously locks you into Dark Synchro monsters. And you can target 1 face-up monster you control that has a level. Send a Fiend Tuner from your hand, deck or hand or deck to the graveyard, and increase or decrease that monster's level by 1. So just giving us a bit of variation on levels and synchros and things, being able to help. I do play next 3 of the Red Lotus King. With this build I do play 3. I'm not playing sort of the Bestials in this, which is probably the best way to play it, but I just don't have access to them. So I do max out on the Red Lotus King as well, which during your main phase, if you control a Fiend Tuner or your opponent controls a special summon monster, quick effect, you can special summon it, which is really amazing. And if this card is special summoned, burn your opponent for 400 for each fire monster you control with a different name. And if this card is sent to the graveyard for a synchro summon, you can Foolish Barrier Trap. So obviously again, isn't quite a few time cards in this deck, which is really handy. And again, it's another one just being able to get the non-tuner onto the field is really good. The next, I do play 2 of the Stone Sweeper, which is basically just versions 4 and 5 of Resonator Call, being able to add by discard, being able to add a level 3 or lower Fiend's Tuner. Then next, because I'm not playing the Bestials, I am sort of playing this more as a heavier going second. So we do have a heavy trap lineup of 3 Nib, 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, and also a little tech I do also play in this deck is 2 of the Skullmeister, which also is a pretty decent hand trap, because your opponents nowadays, they're constantly activating things in the graveyard. You can negate that, and also it is a level 4 Fiend, so of course helps with the synergy of the rest of the deck. But as I always say, hand traps in these videos can kind of be whatever you like, whatever your preference is. So that's it for the monsters. Now on to the spells and traps. Now on to spells and traps. Of course, we start off with 3 of the Crimson Gaia. Absolutely amazing one. During your main phase, you can add a Red Dragon Archfiend or 1 card that mentions it's from your deck to your hand. So of course you can recycle your Red Dragon Archfiends that are in your graveyard, or add your Resonators to your hands, which is really, really good. And then we do also play 3 of the Resonator Call, obviously. Just a rotor for all our Resonators, absolutely amazing. 1 Call by the Grave, just feels like a generic card. It's good going first, good going second. Can use it against your opponent, helps protect yourself. I do play 1 of the Foolish Burial. We do have cards that do like to be in the graveyard, so I had space for it, so I played it. Then next we do run 1 of the Red Zone, which is when your opponent activates a card or effect while you control a Red Dragon Archfiend or a Synchro monster that mentions it. Target 1 card on the field, destroy it. So it's basically just a Regeki break. And also you can target 1 of your banished Dragon Synchro monsters, special summon as well. So it's helps us banish, because obviously a lot of things do banish in this. And the next, finally for the traps, I do play 1 of the Red Rain, which if you control a level or higher Synchro monster, banish all monsters on the field. Absolutely amazing effect, except the ones with the highest attack, which of course a lot of your Red Dragons is kind of all 3k. And then they are unaffected by other card effects except their own until the end of this turn, so it kind of all turns them into towers as well, which is another great effect. And if a Dark Dragon Synchro monster is Synchro summoned while this card's in your graveyard, you can add it back to your hand, being able to recycle it, really good. So that's it for the main deck. Now let's move on to the extra deck. And onto the extra deck, starting off, of course, 3 of the Red Rising Dragon. Absolutely amazing one when it's Synchro summoned, being able to target a Resonator, special summon it back to your graveyard. Absolutely amazing effects to be able to climb into our Red Dragon Archfiend monsters. Next, play 2 of the Scarred, which is a really, really good one. When it's sent from the field to the graveyard, from the monster zone, you can special summon 1 of the Red Dragon Archfiend OG ones from your extra deck, and it's treated as a Synchro summon, which is absolutely a great effect. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, adds a Synchro material for a Dark Dragon Synchro monster, you can destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls, which is basically just a Regeki. Absolutely amazing, being able to help us OTK. Then of course next play 2 of the OG Red Dragon Archfiend, just a big boy, we all know what he does. In this build I do run 1 of the Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend. Again, just pretty much is one we can go into, and again works as a time card because duels go on long now. Next I play 2 of the Abyss, which is another really good one. Basically just an imperm as well, and when it inflicts a battle damage to your opponent, you can target a tuner in your graveyard and special summon in defense position, being able to climb up into our plays and during main 2. Do play next 1 of the Bane, kind of he's just a big beefy boy, and of course when you inflict battle damage to your opponent, you can special summon 2 tuners with the same level, 1 from your hand and 1 from your graveyard, being able to continue our synchro plays. But let's be honest, if I'm going into him, it's for game. Then 1 of the Red Nova Dragon, which again is just one that's kind of for OTK. Must be Synchro summoned first, gains 500 attack for each tuner in your graveyard, which will be obviously quite a few because you need to use 3 tuners for him, so he's gaining at least 1500. And once per turn, when your opponent monster activates an effect, or an opponent monster declares attack quick effect, you can activate this effect, banish this card, and also banish all cards your opponent controls, which is a great effect, bonkers effect. The next I do run 1 of the Cabell, the Dragon Blade, which is just a good 7 we can get into. When it's Synchro summoned, you can target a card on the field, destroy it. And if this card's on the field is destroyed, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. It can't attack until the end of your next opponent's turn, so it can help you sort of stop getting OTK'd. And I do run 1 of the Void Odor Dragon. Again, it's just another easy one we can get into, kind of being a Dark Dragon Synchro as well. Kind of matches the rest of the deck. And of course, it's just the spell and trap negation. So when you have no cards in hand, which is the downside, but it is a bit of a negation. And then finally, 1 of the Disbatter, which again, it's just a super easy one we can get into. But anyway, that's it for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. Of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.